World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where, again, I do what I'm supposed to do by you, which is make you smarter, brighter, more intelligent, wiser, savvier when it comes to consumption, consumerism. You are the consumer. You are the individual that spends that bread. My job is to make sure that you're spending it wisely now that we're looking at inflation that's hovering around 7%. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. And I want to thank you for allowing me into your space this Tuesday, this fantastic Tuesday, the first show of Black History Month, which we know Black History is not just a month, it's every day, 365. And today we're going to be introducing to you a process because everything has a process. Everything has a process. So today we're going to be showing you our process. You want to get in touch with me prior to, go ahead and email us at leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. Leverage Credit Recovery is our website. Go ahead and shoot some comments through. Again, there's a comment section right here. Please, you got questions, we have the answers. Do not hesitate. And as always, as I state, go ahead, grab that device and send that information out to someone. Say, hey, you know what? He's back on again. He's doing that thing. Check him out. The man is back on there doing, and I always like to say, because I'm always part of the show. I'm part of the show on a multitude of levels. On this device, another device, come on, get on. Soul City programs are available nationwide on Comcast, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. We are doing it, folks, and it's all for you. It's all about making sure that you are smart, you are savvy, you are wise consumers. If we don't do it, if we don't help our community, who will? Who's going to do it for us? Who? The federal government is doing what it can, but it's divided right now. The states are doing what they can, but again, divided right now. But it's our job, community leaders. And I have an announcement to make, but I'll make that later on down the road. But I want to get started. I want to dive into the process. We have a specific process that we do here, and we want to share that with you because, again, if I can give you a little bit of a tidbit that's going to help you get to that next level, then by all means, I'm going to do what I got to do. So we can get that screen up there. We're going to go ahead and get started. All righty, so state of your credit. We are addressing the State of the Union tonight. So again, play off words. I thought I'd give you a state of your credit. And this is a process in which we have developed to make sure that consumers understand these are the things that you have to do. If you do these things, it's going to help you with making sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your credit. Now, I've already said, everybody, my lane is credit. But I addressed a lot of financial literacy concerns, but primarily it's all about talking about your credit, keeping that, again, I say it all the time, a foundation. Before you build that house, you have to have a solid foundation. Solid. Once that solid foundation is laid, then you can start erecting those walls, putting on that top, and then living the lifestyle that you want to live. But you got to know, how do I get to those points? And tonight, I'm going to show you our process. Use it. Use it. If you don't like it, if it's not fit or meant for you, it's okay. Move on to another process, but find something that you can use and that you can build off of. So our process is real simple, and I'm going to run it down for you. But as always, we want to give a shout out to that creator, because without him, none of this would be possible. All right, here we go, folks. So, as I say, the necessary conversation continues, correcting the narrative with Leverage Credit Recovery CEO Tyrone Glover. And just as a special announcement, talk finances with an expert every Saturday. Yonkers Public Library has given me the ability to be in the tech center to do what I do best, which is helping you, again, savvy, smart, wise, intelligent. This is what we're doing for you to make sure that you have everything that you need. It's just that simple, just that easy. Because if we do it now, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be well-versed. You're going to be suited for any occasion, anything that happens. We see inflation coming down, still not coming down fast enough. Egg prices are through the roof. As I was watching The Daily Show, and it was hilarious, where they was talking about the egg prices, and I was cracking up. But still, things are too high. This is my way to help you understand that you can offset inflation by just controlling your spending. All right? So again, Tuesdays here on Soul City Network, Saturdays at the Yonkers Public Library. Get that knowledge, folks. Stop squandering it. Stop delaying it. Stop putting it off. Get that knowledge, because it's going to help you, as I stated, get to that whatever ultimate level you are attempting to get to. All right, so what we have is a free credit analysis. We start there. We got to start with something. We got to start with some data. So we want to make sure, again, when you go to the doctors, does the doctor just look at you and go, yep, that's it, yep, I got it, no problem? No, they're going to get some information. They're going to get that data. They're going to get those vitals. Once they have those vitals, what are they going to do? They're going to then pull you in. They're going to give you a diagnosis. With that diagnosis, they're going to give you some medication or treatment. From there, you have to then follow the process, because if you follow the process, guess what's going to happen? You should get better. If you don't get better, the doctor's going to bring you back in. He's going to ask some more questions, and he's going to say, did you take all that medication? Did you go back to the pharmacy to fulfill or refill your prescription? Because if you didn't, there's means and ways for the doctors to check to make sure. Same thing for us. If you are not following the process, there are means and ways for us to determine whether or not you're living up to your understanding before you become someone who is in a obligation or a contractual obligation. So it's really, really, really super important to understand. A free analysis allows for you to get the understanding of what could be potentially harming you, and then we move on to resolving. This is about solutions. I'm about solutions. Tuesdays are about giving you free solutions. Saturdays are equally about giving you free solutions. Come on out and get that free understanding how you can better yourself. And if for whatever reason you can't, there's other means and mechanisms that we can then attach to help you get to where you need to be. So what are some of the things that you should be looking out for when it comes to your credit report for errors? Incorrect personal information, spellings, wrong address. There is nothing that's supposed to be on your credit report other than accurate information. Accurate. If it's not accurate, you don't want to dispute it. That is a misleading understanding. If you think about the word dispute, not even think about it, go to the dictionary. It'll tell you everything about that word dispute. Dispute is something that I did not do. And when it comes to credit, when it comes to obligations, you have to sign on a dotted line. Once you put that John Hancock or Jan Hancock on that line, guess what's going to happen? You are now owner of or responsible for that obligation. But say for whatever reason that obligation doesn't go to its full term or its full understanding, and one party has to bow out before the other, and information might still get put on your credit report that is inaccurate, you don't want to dispute it, you want to challenge it. So we're challenging the validity of information. So that's why we do things, we do what others can't, because they don't know what we know. It's just that simple. I've taken 30 years of my business background to help you now navigate through this complexity. And again, some of it is simple as well. But again, my job is to help you understand what you don't know. So again, personal information, names, telephone numbers, employers. The only thing that needs to be on your credit report is the most accurate, current. Past stuff, it can come off, and that could raise your score by almost 60 points. So if you're not calling Equifax, TransUnion, Experian and letting them know, hey, that's not my name, that's not how I spell it, that's not where the middle initial, not on your driver's license. Your driver's license or your passport are the official documentation for identification. So again, understand that. And if that's not on your driver's license, does it need to be on your credit report? Get it off. All right, accounts that don't belong to you. If you're not checking your credit report, how do you even know if there's accounts on there that don't belong to you? So at least do what annual credit report is allowing you now today, which is to be able to check your credit report once a week. That's right, I said once a week. This is more brilliant than ever could possibly be, because you got a whole year now, and you had 2 years. We're now on our 3rd year with being able to get that credit report once a week. So do that part first. And if you can't break it down, if you don't know what all the trade lines are, reach back out. That's what we're here to do. All right, so accounts that don't belong to you, missing accounts, incorrect public records. Public records basically mean, have you been sued? Have there been a process that went through the court system? That's what public records more or less mean in these types of understandings. And if they have gone through the court system, then that would be an item like a bankruptcy, foreclosure. That's the public records, a judgment. Again, you've got to be mindful of that stuff. If we're not looking at, if we're not paying attention, if we're not opening up that mail that comes to the house, I'm going to say this, 2 words, adverse inference. We're leaving it up to them to make whatever inference to our non-response. So it's really important to also open up that mail, double check it. And if you are unsure, professionals, as I stated, we are here, we are ready to help. Again, stop with the excuses, with the finger pointing. Let's own up to what is ours, and let's move that needle to generational wealth. This Black History Month, you got 28, it's the shortest month. We're on the 6th, so you got roughly 22 more days. 22 more days to start and change the way that you think about your money. All right, so we're talking about public records, accounts that aren't accurate. There it is, accurate. The Federal Consumer Rights Acts and laws all talk about accuracy. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, they don't care about accuracy. They don't. They may give all of these so-called understandings as if they do. They do not. Okay, stop getting duped by those entities that more or less created your financial problem. And I'm going to show you on the next slide what I mean by how did they create your financial problem. All right, accounts listed as closed by grantor, meaning the lender closed the account on you. But if the lender closed the account, still left negative information on there, then it's the lender's responsibility to make sure that that information is correct. If you don't look at your credit report to make sure that that item is not being listed in the manner in which it should, that's a challenge, not a dispute. Again, please understand the difference. If you send in a dispute, you're more or less lying, fraud. Don't want to kind of say it in that manner, but that's definitely the definition. You're not intentionally doing it, but it's all because of the definition. Know those words, because if you do, it's going to save you a lot of bread. All right, duplicate accounts, data management area, delinquencies or derogatory marks, fraudulent activity, and incorrect inquiries. Again, This is so important. So when you're looking at your credit report, look for those things. If you are unsure, reach out. Give us a holler. Call us up. That's what we do. We are here to help you. All right, so here's some of the understandings of where you probably want to see your credit score. You definitely don't want to be here. Who wants to be in the 300? That's poor. That tells you right there. Fair. Again, you're probably going to get some credit. Even in the poor range, you'll get some credit, but you're going to be paying 18, 19, 20%, if not a little bit higher. In the fair range, you'll probably come down to around 15, 13. But again, they own the money. You want the money. So the best thing to do is to be as high as you possibly can. Good credit, as you can see, and above will give you the best chances of qualifying for business loans. Business loans as well as personal loans. And we've talked about the business and personal. Don't intertwine the two. Make sure you keep them separately. You don't want to be using a business credit card to do personal shopping, and you don't want to use a personal credit card to do business shopping. There's some liability issues there, and you don't want to get your situations intertwined to where you as well as your business might be compromised if a lawsuit does ensue. So really, really be careful. Very good. You're looking at somewhere in that 9 to maybe 12, and you can get it a little bit lower, but that's excellent. Again, if you're in an excellent status and you have credit cards that are in a double digit or the high single digits, if you haven't reached out to your credit card companies, you need to give me a call. You need to call Tyrone. That's my jam because it's my name. Erykah Badu. She gave everybody permission to call Tyrone. So what are you waiting for? Pick up that phone if you do not know how to negotiate with your lenders about reducing your interest. That's the brilliance of being a consumer, and that's the brilliance of being a business person. But I'm going to hook you up with another understanding. You're all business people. Even though they call us consumers, you're the CEO of your household. So I hope you know how to manage that household just like a CEO should know how to manage a business. But there you have it, folks. What to look for, what credit scores you want, and keep them going in that manner by being able to reach out to those lenders and say, hey, we need to talk. All right. So here's some really interesting facts. Now, I know it's a little bit small, so what I'll do is I'll read some of it to you. But if anyone wants these slides, please let me know. Please send me an email, Soul City Network, or link through Soul City Network. Send me an email, Leverage Credit Recovery, and I'll be more than happy to get these out to you. Join me on Saturdays at the library, and I'll be more than happy to facilitate this for you as well. But credit is a manifested movement. My apologies. Credit is a multifaceted movement of many financial components. All right. What the F? What the facts? Self-sabotage is about 10% of our credit mishaps. 10% of our credit mishaps are due to our own fault. And I want every single person who's listening to me to say to themselves, I own up to my 10%. Yep, thank you. I own up to my 10% because if you knew better, wouldn't you do better? Yes, of course. So now you know better, so now do better. All right, so what the facts? A surprising 90% of credit misfortune is due to manipulation, deception, delay, corruption, confusion, and so many other adverbs which describe the abuses of the very industries entrusted to protect consumers, enforce, and regulate and legislate. That's it, right there, 90%. Believe me. Yes, you're going to be like, well, how do you know these numbers are that? You're just pulling that out of your wazoo. Anyone out there, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, Attorney Generals, doesn't matter. You want to challenge me on my facts? I invite you into the show. Anyone. That's all you got to do. Because I know not congressional leaders, but I have read probably way too many of those congressional reports that have shown me everything that I want to know. Maxine Waters has enlightened me so much because she is the committee chair of the financial committee. So trust me when I tell you, I'm getting my information, and my information is valid. All right? Valid. But as I stated, challenge me anytime. Anytime you want in, let me know. I'll bring you in. But there you have it. 90%. Our nation is entrusted too many industries access to our sensitive personal information and data. What the facts? The 117 Congress and Congress before them have identified and documented in multiple congressional reports which have called on industries entrusted with sensitive consumer data and public trust to step up their game or suffer penalties and fines. All right? To suffer. And what happens to those penalties and fines? It's a good question. We know they're paying them, but what happens to them? Well, next time I get the opportunity to ask one of our elected officials, where does that money go? Trust me, I'll be doing a show on that. But again, penalties and fines, which have only emboldened them to commit and unleash even more egregious harm on consumers. Because a slap on the wrist to Equifax and TransUnion, who are billion-dollar companies, it only emboldens them to go out and do more egregious acts. Okay? So, what more do I need to tell you? The very same Congress has equally given the same habitual abusers industries entrusted with our public data and trust the ability to profiteer and enrich themselves, Congress as well. Yes, they were just talking about it on multiple news channels. Is it still, or do we still, or should we still allow for Congress leaders to invest while they're in Congress? Didn't they talk about Trump diversifying? Didn't they talk about, not diversifying, but giving up those assets supposedly to his children? Don't they make every president do the diversify, get rid of it? You got to move it. You can't have it while you're the president. So you can't obviously allow Congress to do the same thing. And if we were to do that, trust me what I'm telling you, we would get more power. The public would have more power. We'd be able to have proper oversight. They're still able to make their money, but should they be going into Congress as thousandaires or maybe 100,000-aires, but leaving Congress multi-millionaires? That's a problem here, folks. That's a problem. And the best way to stop it is to address it. The best way to stop it is to expose it. All right? As Leverage Credit Recovery and I attempt to navigate you and yours through the simplicities and complexities of credit reporting, we look forward to all the questions and answer sessions coming soon. So Saturdays, Tuesdays, that's what this is all about. Answers and question sessions, because it's going to help you with feeling a lot more relaxed and comfortable in challenging any disputes that you may have when it comes to your credit report. I want to thank all my guests who came out this Saturday. Last Saturday, I want to thank all the guests who came out the previous Saturdays. These sessions are growing. They're growing larger and larger and larger and larger. Get out and do what you must do because, again, it's ultimately your financial situation. Questions and answer sessions coming soon, allowing me the opportunity to enlighten, to address, to reintroduce you to credit and the importance of building and maintaining a proper credit profile. Your financial future depends on what you do now. Now, not tomorrow, not next week, because this is the problem. Too many of us are attempting to find the time. If you can, please let me know, because I want to be your first investor. If you can find time, I was asking my students, is the time under the seat? Is it under the table? Where is time? Where is it? Can you find it? Because if you can, I want to be the first to invest in you. Because you can't find it. You have to make that time. And I'm not telling you to make 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 hours. That becomes a chore. How many of us like chores? Probably none of us. I didn't like them as a kid, don't like them as an adult. But I can cut out 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Obviously, in the beginning, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I can cut out that time to make the necessary adjustments to my financial understanding. Of course I can, and you should. All right, and if you have a problem with time management, that's why the professionals are here. The professionals, and I say it over and over and over and over and over, The professionals are knocking at the door. They're knocking at the door. They're asking you, do you need help, as I'm doing today? Do you need assistance? Because if you do, we're here to help. We're here to help you navigate through whatever complexity, simplicity, equally, doesn't matter. Whatever you believe is going on in your credit profile that you cannot get a handle on, or in your financial situation that you can't get a handle on, you got to start letting us help. Community is about community, and we are here to help. I live here in Yonkers, and I'm taking care of home first. Yonkers, New York is my priority. Neighboring communities, you are more than welcome to join in, but Yonkers residents, all 210,000 of you, make it a priority, because as soon as you do, we are here to make sure that you will be covered from head to toe. All right, so what is a credit score? Credit scores are the results of a mathematical formula which use the information in your credit reports to calculate a value which suggests how likely you are to pay your bills in the future. That's all it is. It's a mathematical formula. 35% of the population doesn't understand math, so I understand why 35% of you might not be as proficient as you should. But the other 65% of you, come on now, come on. You should be able to navigate through this and make sure, but again, some 60 to 70% of Americans struggle with that very understanding of how to manage their credit. But if you're going to try to break down the mathematical formula, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Leave that up to the experts that have already done that part. Because we are here to carry the heavy load, which we've already done. Heavy lifting, which we've already done. We're now making it easier for individuals to get inside that credit profile, start looking at those trade lines and making sure that there's no negative information. If there is, got to remove it. That you understand how to build proper credit with the proper credit tools that are out there. It's just that simple. Businesses use credit scores to establish how likely you are to pay back loans and services. People with higher credit scores may be more likely to pay back their debts. People with low credit scores may be less likely to pay their debts. All right? Minimum doesn't work. Everything is on a scale. It's on a scale, 0 to 100. You pay the minimum, you're only bringing it down about 22, 25%. If you pay half, you're a teeter-totterer. I know that sounds kind of funny, but that's what happens with a seesaw. Teet and tot, teet, tot. Teeter-totterer, all right? I know it's a funny word, but yes, half of it, you're too wishy-washy. Lenders don't like 1 month you're good, 1 month you're bad. 1 month you're good, 1 month you're bad. Plus, you got to remember, it's a cycle. If you don't create a cycle that's going to adhere almost every 30 days, you're going to find yourself teetering. That's not good, all right? You want to be able to, if you happen to max out, there's a certain percentage that you have to bring it down to. The standard, as you will see in just a few minutes, is 30%. That's called utilization. If you're bringing it down that 30%, you're freeing up 70% of your credit. All right? That looks very attractive too. Now, I've heard some people say, well, should I only use, or I've been told that the industry only wants me to use 30% of my credit. Well, think about that for a second. Why would an industry tell you only to use 30% of your credit and leave 70% available? How much sense does that make? If you need to use your credit, use your credit. The important thing about using your credit is bringing it back down to free up as much of it as possible. The more you free up, the better the cycle will look, and you have to do that on every single credit product. All right, every single credit product. So your credit score, the credit score you get from different companies will not be the same. There are numbers of reasons for this. Number of reasons why. Again, mind boggle. But you got to remember, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, different companies for a reason. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Schweppes, different companies for a reason. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Popeyes, different companies for a reason. Okay? There are many different formulas used to calculate credit scores. The difference in the formulas may lead to differences in your credit scores. Companies may produce scores that give you results on different scales. You have like 28. I think it's the number is still not quite sure. 23 to 28 different credit scores because things fall into categories. You have a mortgage category, you have a loan category, you have a credit card category, you have a credit card with no logo category, you have a credit card with logo category. I mean, there is a multitude of credit obligations that we could get ourselves into that we don't understand, but now you're going to get a full breakdown of how this works. You just got to want to apply it to your day-to-day understanding, or if you can't and you need more assistance, please reach out. Stop struggling. 2023 is recovery. All right? Did you hear that? 2023 is recovery. Make sure you're recovering. Businesses don't always report to every credit reporting company. And even when they do, they may send their information on different days. This means that on any given day, the information that one credit reporting company has may differ from the credit activity being reported to another credit reporting company. So that's why I was talking about that cycle. That cycle, again, a cycle, it continues around, a cycle. And if you can manage your cycles properly, you should not be paying your bills from the Monday of the first of the month or Tuesday, whenever the first falls, throughout the 31, 28, whatever the time frame is, days. You should try to chunk that all into 1 week. If you have to go 2 weeks, it's perfectly fine too. But what I'm saying, 1 week, if you can get it into 1 week, I can pay all my bills within that 1 week time frame. You're going to allow for the beginning of a cycle and an end of a cycle to actually catch up with the computers that are now monitoring your credit. I know. Did I just blow your mind? Boom! Yes, I did. All right. 1 week. If you can do it in 1 week, excellent. If you have to stretch it out in 2 weeks, still beginning and end, and then you're going to allow for a cycle to be created because you're going to have by the beginning all the stuff that you need to buy is going to be in the house. The dishes, the cleaning supplies, the laundry supplies, the food, whatever it is that you need. When you begin your cycle, all that stuff's going to be in because now I got to pay them bills. I don't want to be buying stuff while I'm paying the bills, not on those credit cards because what's going to happen? It's going to bring that utilization back up. And you're doing what? What are you doing? You're bringing down your utilization because now you know I done did all my shopping. So now I got to pay everything. I want to get it all done within that 1 week or 2 weeks. As I mentioned, 1 week would be the best. 2 weeks if you have to, I understand. But now the cycle is closed after that week is done. I done paid all the bills. Now I got to wait a time frame for it to report. That's a closing date, and you'll see it on your statement. There's a due date and a closing date. You'll see it on your statement. If you close properly, you're going to be perfectly fine because it's going to allow you to catch up. Once it catches up, now you can go back out and you can replenish all of the things that you need to replenish in that house. So no, I know it went a little bit fast, but that's okay because I want you to reach out. I want you to join me on Saturdays. I want you to join me every Tuesday. And then obviously if you need additional help, reach out. We'll be able to set up some time frame in which you and I can sit down and go over it time or at your pace. All right, so here's that graph that you often see. This is called the factors, the 5 factors of credit. You have here the, let's start with the bigger one. Payment history. Paying on time. Got to pay on time. It's just a no-brainer. We're talking about the debt ceiling. And those of you who don't know the debt ceiling, real quick, the debt ceiling is bills that we have already created. We just need to pay them. Some of them are fixed, so there's no extra interest. Some of them are variable or flexible. So that means there's some interest that was added. So they got to add more money to the interest. They're not doing more spending as the Republicans continue to keep trying to allude to. That is a lie. Fake news. That's what that is. Again, the debt ceiling, just like us, you may have a higher interest so that you have to take more money to bring down that utilization. Same thing with the United States government. The difference here is with the United States government is that they're paying the interest to make sure that they are paying all their bills in the manner in which they should, as we should as well. All right, 35%, you bring that down, you pay that on time. That's 35% of your overall credit score. 30% is what they call that utilization. You're using it. You maxed it out. As I told you, if you bring it down, the standard is 30%. That means you're freeing up 70% of your credit. All right, 70% freeing up. All right, I tell people with a low credit score in this range here, if you're in the poor and the fair range, you want to stay at 23%, not 30. You want to free up 77% of your credit, not just the 70. Bring it down to 77. As your credit score gets more improved, like the 600, bring it down to about 11. That means I'm freeing up 80, 90, 89%. All right, I'm freeing up 89% of my credit, and then never bring your credit strictly to zero until you are in that 800 range. All right, if you're paying off, there's no love there. There's no relationship. Show your lender some love because you're going to have to get out in that world again and use credit. All right, you may need to get a new car. You may want to get out of a 1-bedroom into a 5-bedroom. The family may grow overnight. Anything could happen. So again, please understand those credit factors because that's what's going to really give you the most bang for your buck. Credit accounts, trades, pause. Types of credit. Types of credit am I mixing it properly? And that's why I brought this up here, the credit mix. So that types of credit, you got mortgages, you got student loans, you have credit cards, you have auto loans. That's what types of credit are. And you're going to get 10%. You might not get that full 10%, but you're still going to get something from that area. New credit, am I out there inquiring? That's desperation. No one should have more than 4 to 5 credit inquiries per year. Anything more than that, you're setting yourself up for failure. So please do not go out there inquiring. It's going to dip that score, and then you're going to be wondering, well, why is my score not going up? Well, there's 2 factors. 1, you're inquiring too much, and 2, you're not monitoring, nor are you using proper credit management. All right? Credit should be in a upwards trajectory. Every single month, you should see your score going up. You should not be on a roller coaster. All right? Definitely not. So again, factors, 35%, payment history, utilization, 30%, age of credit. Age of credit is basically how long have I had credit. You got to be checking your length of credit. Your length of credit, that's 15% of your overall credit score. If you're not, and you're not going to get the whole 15%, these are ancillary. All right, these are going to give you some points. They might give you higher points if you're following them according to what I just mentioned, or they may give you lower points if you're not. Same thing with these areas here. If you're not paying on time and you bring down your utilization, you're not going to be able to make it up from these 3. It's not going to happen. If you're not bringing down your utilization, you're paying on time, you're still not going to be able to make that difference up from these other items. 35 and 30 in any school that I've been in, 65 is a passing grade. All right, so you want to shoot for at least the passing grade first and then get some of them ancillaries to add to that passing grade. But if you can't even achieve the passing grade, you're not going to be able to make it up from these ancillaries because you're not going to get the full assortment. All right, so I hope you understand this wheel now. But as I stated, please reach out if you need. I'll be more than happy to email this to you. All right, so as I stated, if you got any questions, please drop those questions in because I'm more than happy, willing to answer those questions for you. All right, so what is a credit report? When you make a payment on a credit card loan, the business then gives you the loan. Credit keeps a record of how much you and often you pay. So how much you pay and how often you pay, as well as the credit limit and loan balance. These businesses and other sources may report your credit. May, there's the operative word. They may You as a person, business, you want to make sure that all of your transactions are making it to the various institutions. You don't want the maze. If you are in a credit obligation, a loan obligation, a contractual obligation, you want to make sure that those items are being reported to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Just that simple. Cash and debit might be king, but credit holds conversations. All right, that's all you need to know. So get on board with maintaining and owning up to proper credit management. Those businesses and other sources may report your credit, loans, and payment histories to one or more credit reporting companies. The credit reporting companies each combine the information they receive about your different credit loans and payment activities into a credit report. The credit report companies prepare credit reports for the people in the United States. Since not all businesses report to all three credit reporting companies, the information on your credit report may vary. Right? So it's really important to understand that information. So it's vital that you're checking. As I started the conversation off with the doctor, they're checking your vitals. So it's important that you are equally, your trade lines are your vitals. Make sure you're checking. Because if you're checking them properly, guess what's going to happen? You're going to see your credit score, as I stated, upwards trajectory. Credit is not a roller coaster. Credit is a rocket. All right? Not a roller coaster, but a rocket. Credit reports may include a list of businesses, all right, the total amount of each loan, how often you pay. Credit reports they may also include a list of businesses that have obtained your credit report within a certain time frame. Your current and former name, again, may. And if they are there, they can be removed. May is not a definitive word. Can is not a definitive word. So again, like I keep telling you, definition. If you understand verbiage and words, you'll be able to solve whatever problems. And if you are a good negotiator, we're not good negotiators. We're not good negotiators. We might be able to bargain, but we're not good negotiators. Two different words. Gotta know the difference. And federal laws. You are entitled to receive one free copy of your credit report from each reporting company every 12 months. That is probably will come back after 2023. Hopefully they extend it. But as of now, you're able to get your credit report from annual credit report every single week. All right? 4 ways to build credit. This is important. How do I build the stuff? How do I get from one to the next, 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 however many you want? If you're managing it properly, have as many as you want. If you're not managing it properly, start off nice and slow. Get the proper education, the proper understanding to build credit effectively. Not just to build it because, I got an American Express. I got a Discover. I got a this. No, that's not smart. All right? Build it properly. So here are some ways to build. Build credit with credit cards. Use credit building tools, as I'm teaching you today. Practice good credit habits. All right? Behaviors and habits. Those are the things that are going to make the difference between you and how you manage your credit properly, and the difference between somebody who doesn't understand those principles. All right? Everything, as I stated when I started the conversation, is a process. Follow the process. You will be successful. And then monitor your credit reports and credit scores. We monitor our battery levels on our phone. We monitor our tire pressures in our cars. We monitor the gas levels. We monitor everything almost in our entire existence. But when it comes to our credit, whatever. Don't need to monitor. Whatever. No, we need to get out of that nonchalant kind of action and start really focusing on those financial principles. You can't resolve what you can't face. Just that simple. Can't resolve what you can't face. So let's talk a little bit about who are these companies and what we do in our process to help you. Equifax. So what we do at Equifax is we create credit challenges. Remember I told you in the beginning? Disputes. A dispute is actually you doing something. So yeah, if you're going to dispute it, that means you did it. and now you and the other party are disputing as to a resolution. All right? A challenge means there's something ill in here, and I need to challenge the validity of that illness. That's what you're doing here. So we list all your challenges, one little area, and we help you orchestrate the necessary response so that you can challenge whatever it is that might be a negative on that credit report. We do it for Equifax. We do it for Experian. If there's some issues to where one or the other won't give it to you in the manner in which we've already discussed, which is through annual credit report, you may have to also pick up the phone and give them a call. We'll list every single item on your credit challenge report so that you can make sure that these things are checked off as they come off your credit reports. Experian, do the exact same thing. TransUnion, obviously, if there's nothing there, nothing to report, nothing to challenge. But you have to do this on a monthly basis, and I'm talking primarily about negative information on this particular right here. On Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. These are your challenges of negative information. Your personal negative or your personal inaccurate information. That's a quick pick up the phone, call Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Whoever you're talking to, let them know, hey, I'm up on the shenanigans. I'm up on the tomfoolery. If you get a customer service person who, again, is not a credit expert, they're just a customer service person, they're not going to know much. They were trained by the very entities that are duping you. So they're not going to know much, even if you get to a supervisor. So think about this for a second. Why did American companies ship their process out to foreign companies or foreign countries? That should tell you everything you need to know. Ask me that in a classroom setting or in a setting on Saturday, or put it into a comment, and I'll be more than happy to answer that for you. But I'm not going to give you all the goodies, because if I give you all the goodies, what am I left with? Just joking. Please, by all means, ask those questions. I'll be more than happy to. But why did they? Why did they keep America's information, Americans, and they now have them being processed by someone in Bangladesh, someone in Mexico, someone in India? Think about that for a second. There's a serious answer to that. All right, so this is our credit tracker, credit cycle tracker. Remember what I told you? Everything is a cycle. It's a cycle. You follow that cycle properly every single month, you'll be right on point. You're dealing with a system called eOscar. You're dealing with algorithms. Your letters are open, meaning your challenge or your dispute letters, they're open, they're stacked, and then they're put into a machine. And that machine makes whatever determination it needs to. I did a challenge one day, and my information, obviously, I mailed it to an American Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian company, but you got to remember, these are billion-dollar companies, and they're all over the world. But I mailed mine in, and all of a sudden, I get a response back from Canada stating I don't have a record or a file in Canada. Well, clearly I don't. I'm an American. So you can see how easy it is for them to divert your items somewhere else, all to avoid the fact that they have to make sure that things are correct. And if they do it in a 30-day cycle, your job is to be right back out there next 30 days, next 30 days, next 30 days. There's a process that you don't understand that I do, but I'll talk to that to you much later in other shows. So you want to make sure, obviously, that you're hitting the month. What month are we in? February. You want to know when your item actually opens. When did I open this account? When is it due? That's the due date. When does it report? And on your banking statement or your bill statement, you'll see your due date, because you know that every single month, got to pay that bill, and you know your report date. What's equally important, to get back to that cycle piece that I was talking about, that 1 week, you want to make sure that you reach out to all your credit cards or all your obligations, and you tell them, I need to change my due date. I need to pay everything within a certain time frame. They're going to be asking you, well, how come, and so forth. It's none of their real concern or their business. It's up to you to reinforce that. This is that negotiation piece. And you can change your due date any time you want. All right? But if you're paying bills over 30, 28, 31 days, you're doing yourself harm. All right? Actual report date. When does it actually hit the report? You got to know that. When does it actually hit? Because that's that time frame that's super critical. 60 to 70% of us have to use our resources almost immediately after we make that payment. But if I bring it down 77%, and then the day right after, I'm bringing it right back up, by the time it actually hits, guess what happens? My utilization is off. By the time it actually hits the credit report, the amount that I brought it down to is not going to be an amount that my credit should have been graded at. Okay? This is super important to understand. You do not get it. You do not understand it. I need you to show up on Saturdays. I need you to be here more often on Tuesdays to make sure that you're getting this vital, important information. It's going to help you. I'm telling you, 2023 is recovery. Bottom line. All right? Limit times 23%. If you're not in a good category, 23% is where you need to be. So if you got a $1,000 credit card, you maxed it out, you want to bring it down to 23%. You saw what the wheel was showing you. That wheel was showing you the 5 factors, that payment history. It was telling you, the utilization was telling you 30. All I did was use my 30 years of business to come up with other smart people with this 23%. And it made a world of difference when it comes to your credit report and how you're being graded, or as we say, scored. One of the two. I'm a teacher, so I use grades a lot, but still comes out to a numerical understanding, score, whatever it is you want to use. Not that hard. And then, did you meet your balance every single month? If you did, put a little check mark there. Reward yourself. Yay. All right? That's what you want. That's the credit tracker. Was that hard? That's actually pretty easy. You get proficient on this, you're going to set yourself up for financial success. You're going to be well on your way to generational wealth. And that's ultimately what this is all about. As your, almost blew the secret prior to, I got to wait till I get to the end of this, but there's an announcement coming up. But let me go. I'm on it. Oh man, I'm feeling so good. So recommendations. Our recommendations are as the word itself is described in the dictionary. It's a noun, a suggestion or proposal as to the best course of action, especially one put forward by an authoritative body. Yes, I'm an authoritative body. That's so weird to even have to say, but I am an authoritative body because I have clients. I have some clients, and I have friends, and I have acquaintances that are doctors, that are far more experienced and knowledgeable in their fields of study, and they come to me and ask me for assistance. One of my clients I don't know if he still is, but one of my clients was an attorney general for the state of Texas. Don't know if it was the entire state of Texas or if it was one of those cities in Texas. But when he called me and asked me about his student loans, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? So not all, even the most educated individuals know everything about credit. So that's why you have to have somebody who's more specialized in that area. Credit is my lane, and I stay in my lane. I leave all that investing, all that wills and testaments, all that other stuff that I don't want anything to do with. Do I have a bit of knowledge? Yes, absolutely, because I want to be able to answer a small question, but I'm going to pass you off after we create the foundation. Then I'll pass you off to someone who's equally as passionate about their field of expertise. I'll pass you right off over, keeping it all under that one umbrella that we like to have, and watch them do even more once we create the foundation. Some of my best friends in the whole wide world. And one of my best friends, mentor, confidant, love of my financial life, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, who has equally a show on this very same network, Access Wealth Nation. She will be on my show as a guest next week. Hopefully, she is a tax professional. And if she's not, we're going to get her before Black History Month ends. But that's someone that you all need to know. One of my other good friends, brother from another mother, Antonio Kenyatta, again, fiduciary. If you don't know what a fiduciary is, look it up. Google it. Stop Googling food and slapping and hitting and all of these negative things that are going on in that device that we call a smart device, and start Googling up some real financial wealth saving knowledge. But a fiduciary is somebody who will go to jail if they don't make sure that you are doing well by their recommendations. That's the brilliance of it. So as I stated, authoritative body. We stand by our recommendations 100%, and results may vary. Of course, if you're doing it right, great. If you're messing up here or there, or making mistakes here or there, then they're gonna vary. It's just that simple. Just that simple. All right. And we do what others can't and won't because we know what they don't. That's it. Someone like me who's been in it for 30 years, corporate America, stepped away from that because of all of the egregious understandings that was going on there, moved into the academic world, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it to the fullest. And it's so great to understand that when you love something, when you're passionate about something, when you're dedicated to something, it's not work. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's loving. It's the appreciation of being able to help someone and then watch that smile, watch that thrill come right across as you can see the light bulbs go on. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing what we do. So it's really important. And then as we always do, we list the recommendations. We make sure that you understand, well, what are some of these recommendations? What is it that I have to watch out for? Please make sure that you make your bi-monthly payments if you are in a contractual arrangement. Our monthly agreements must be received on the scheduled date. That's your due dates. All right. You need to start establishing personal or business credit. Focus all your attention on current credit obligations. No need to inquire for more credit. Let's talk about the 23% once you start establishing credit. So we give you these recommendations for you only. They may differ from consumer to consumer, but this is just a small little list of what we recommend to our consumers as they are either establishing credit or rebuilding. All right, so establishing credit histories can help. Get a cell phone. All right, get a cell phone. Apply for a credit card. Rent or buy a home. Buy a car. Apply for a loan. And then obviously during background checks from employers. So these are some of the things that can help you with establishing the credit history. And then we have a process where we make appointments. It's always best to have an appointment so we can dedicate all the time we need. Emails and texts, they are useful, they're help, but that's a lot of this is not something that we can do on the fly. A lot of this is what we have to sit down for. 10, 15, 20 minutes. A text is not going to do it. In Texas, they can be misconstrued. So I don't like that. And if you are in a payment arrangement, start tracking all of these understandings. Did I meet with my preparer? When did I meet with my preparer? What obligations am I set up with my credit understandings or anyone who's helping me? If you're in a contractual relationship, if you're in a contractual understanding, start creating documents, files, things that you can do electronically. It's going to help you. It's going to save you. Here's some information about how to contact the various credit reporting agencies. There's Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and obviously Equifax. So you really want to make sure you are in these credit scoring ranges. 500 is poor. 580 to 69 is fair. 670 to 739 is good. They vary depending on who you might be getting your information from. And lastly, we want to thank you. How to get in contact with us. We thank you for allowing us the opportunity to assist you and yours in your journey to financial stability and freedom throughout proper credit understanding and management. It's just that simple. We are here to help you. All right. So how do you get in contact with us? Leverage Credit Recovery, P.O. Box 101, Yonkers, New York, 10702. And our telephone number is 805-428-9424. That's clearly something that you can text us on as well. The website, which I love, is Linktree. Linktree. Go to www.linktree.com/credit recovery, leverage credit recovery. I'm telling you, it's the coolest thing. It's got our videos. It's got other fantastic information. Everything on one little slide that you can scroll through and you can click as you deem necessary. Email leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. And we also have another one, which creditcoach411@gmail. So we're always here to help, and our social media feeds as well. TikTok, which I don't hope, but if they end up snatching it off the platform due to some Chinese spying information, hey, it was a nice ride while it lasted. Instagram, TikTok, and this wonderful thing called Tumblr. And we are back on Facebook. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. That's how we do. In an hour, it goes so super quick. And that announcement that I wanted to make is that you are now looking at your new economics or chair of the Economics Development Committee here in Yonkers, New York. I am now the chair of that committee. So on a new opportunity, and I'm looking forward to addressing economic development in Yonkers. So as I stated, 210,000 consumers. You need help, we're here to help. You need assistance, we're here to help. You need financial stability, wealth understanding, generational wealth in this month of Black History. Reach out. Let us help you. Well, we're going to be doing this all year for anyone, but it's always a pleasure, a thrill, a joy. I love what I do. Thank you, everyone who makes the time to give me the time to do what I do best, which is help you become financially stable. Leverage Your Score by Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO. Everybody be safe, stay warm, and I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday. And if not, I want to see you on Saturdays, Yonkers Public Library at 12 noon. Thank you, everybody. Be safe.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.